rocking out to the music. You like music, man?
I love music. I love every kind of music, but recently I've really started to get into this thrash metal music. I don't know, there's something about it, man, that I just can't let go. It's great, it's great. There's this one band out that's called Napalm Death, and it's so hilarious. I mean, I listened to this album, I started listening to this album, and it was literally, I'm not exaggerating, that was it. You know, and I thought, you know, someday this guy's gonna want to slow down and do some duets. You don't bring me flowers. I'm a little bit country. You know, if you can't enjoy your own stuff.
All right, here we are, back in the actor's room. My name is Jeff Tarowski, and I am here with my brother Dave this week. Dave, say something.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing good, and we just talked. Both of us are kind of nervous about going into this. Is there a big reason why you're kind of nervous? And I think you explained to me why, but tell the audience why.
Oh, it's really simple. We just want to do a good job on this because, you know, Jim Carrey is pretty complicated.
Very.
I feel he is. And just want to make sure we don't miss anything or...
Yes. I think that's the number one thing is there's a lot of information. We want to put it into one episode if we can. It might be long, but doing my history and looking up what kind of episodes that I have that are popular, I feel that this one is going to be listened to a lot. So another reason why I'm a little nervous is because it's going to be kind of popular. There's going to be people clicking on Jim Carrey because there's a lot of people that love him.
Well,
they really do.
We'll find out.
Now, before we get into his childhood, I wanted to point out a few things about the show. And this is actually pretty cool. I got an email on Monday, and it was from a site that keeps track of numbers from podcasts and things like that. And they notified me that The Actors Room is now ranked number 297 in Sweden. Oh, yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Sweden, we are ranked
297.
297 in the television/entertainment podcast.
That's awesome.
I read that and I was like, really?
Maybe next week, 295.
We might move up a few notches after Jim Carrey.
Fucking
wow, fucking great, right? So, as I'm going to point out, please support the show. Go on to iTunes. You go on there. You can use your phone. You rate the show. Give it a 5-star review. Leave comments. I received a new comment last week, I explained. It made my day. It was really great. If you go on there, Dave, there's a new comment. They were really talking about the show, and they liked it a lot. But I only have like 6 comments. So please go on there. You know, I know you're listening.
It doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long. And it really helps the show. And you can also donate to the show at the Actors Room. You can go on the website. It's called theactorsroom.libsyn.com. You can donate to the show $1. Anything would be appreciated. David would appreciate it as well. And I called you David, and that was really weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, who are you talking about?
That's funny. Who's David? Okay. James Carrey. Okay.
James Eugene Carrey.
Wasn't someone else named Eugene? The middle name? Yeah, wait. Well, I did a Gene Wilder episode. His name wasn't Eugene. That was his stage name. But I thought someone else was named Eugene, so that's kind of weird. Okay, maybe. All right. Anyways, but yeah, in the early stages of his career, it wasn't Jim.
No,
it was James.
It was James.
Yeah, and he switched it over to Jim later on down the line. But yeah, I'm feeling a little better now. We're going to start talking about Mr. Carrey. Like I said, a significant figure in entertainment, period. He had a stretch that was undeniable in the 90s, the mid-90s. If you were alive at that time, we were young, teenagers.
We were the perfect demographic.
Yes.
For his rise to fame. I was 14 or so.
That makes sense.
When Ace Ventura came out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
That was
pretty much every fucking teenager at that time was just fucking obsessed.
And yeah, I'm a little older than my brother, and he was really popular on In Living Color. And a lot of my friends fell in love with him. He was the only white guy on the show. He stuck out a little bit, and he was the funniest thing we've ever seen. So different. His comedy was just like a Robin Williams, but a little different.
He was like a cartoon.
He was like a cartoon. And that was one of the things that he was great at, was kind of like distorting his face.
Yeah.
He does some great impressions of, I thought, my personal favorite is James Dean. I think he fucking nails James Dean. The face is perfect. He's a very talented man. We can't wait to talk about him. So here we go. We're going to start off, of course, at the beginning, his childhood. Do you have when he was born?
I do.
Okay, when was he born?
He's born January 17th, 1962.
And he shares a birthday with somebody that he will portray later on in his life. Who's that?
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, isn't that fucking weird? I didn't know that.
Same birthday. Not the same year,
No.
obviously, but
they share the same
day.
birthday.
So, yeah.
I thought that was very interesting. I didn't know that until I did the research, and I was like,
You
wow.
didn't, huh?
I didn't know that.
I knew that back when
The movie came
around
out.
the time he did Man on the Moon.
Okay, so you knew about that?
Mm-hmm.
Weird, I thought.
So he's currently 56 years old.
56?
Crazy.
Yeah, you think
he
about
just-
that.
He doesn't, I don't know, I guess he doesn't look like he's 56, but
I think
whatever.
he does.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I think he looks pretty good for his age.
There was a...
I mean, he's, like you said, and like I said, he's like a cartoon. He's been fucking manipulating his face so much, so of course there's going to be that aging.
Oh, of course.
But, anywho, he was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
His mom was Kathleen, his father Percy, and he's the youngest of four.
So he has, what, 3 older sisters? Or does he have a brother?
He has a brother, too.
He does?
And I think 3 other sisters.
Okay. Because I've seen documentaries, and there was just one sister that would talk. It doesn't seem like the rest of his siblings. I don't know if they...
like, leave me out of this.
I know, right? I think because he was so popular, that status, they may have just been like,
It's not for them.
It's not. And for some people,
Obviously.
it's not. Where, on the other hand, I felt that his parents really enjoyed his success, especially his father.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, his dad was a jazz musician. And
Saxophone, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Saxophone. And I don't know if you know this, but I think the oldest daughter got sick.
Okay.
And he had to sell his saxophone in order to pay for the hospital bills.
Man. Oh, see.
So after that, he then got a job as an accountant, safe job,
Right.
pay the bills.
Right.
So he kind of left that dream of his, of,
Being an entertainer, because he was a funny guy. That's something you should know about Percy. A lot like Jim. That's where Jim gets his stuff. Okay. His father, Percy, was funny. I guess Jim said that he would go to parties and he would be the life of the party, telling jokes, cracking everybody up, peeing their pants. That was his dad. And Jim felt that him becoming an accountant, like you said, he kind of settled.
He did.
He had to, because he had a family. He had to put that aside, and he placed all of his love of entertainment into his son. I don't know, he really did try to live through Jim's success in being funny, molding him. He was like his little self, in a way. I thought, I don't know, am I right?
Yeah, that could be it.
Okay.
I'm sure they had that connection.
Big time. Yeah, I believe
so. I don't know if his father kind of molded it or it was like a project or anything like that.
I kind of saw it. I think it was.
The way I took it, Jim Carrey was born as an entertainer.
He said that, yeah.
Even as a kid, he just always felt compelled to entertain.
Yeah.
he felt it necessary to make his parents happy.
Yes.
They didn't have the best life,
No.
obviously. His father sold a saxophone to pay for bills.
And do you want to get into the significant part of his life when he was 13, 14? Or should we talk about some other things first? Do you have any other notes about...
Not really, but
I don't
mean,
either.
you know, I think it is important to know early in his childhood
Mm-hmm.
that he felt compelled to kind of make his mom happy. She kind of, from the way he described it, she had a lot of issues. I think she was addicted to painkillers.
I think so.
She had
Yes.
a lot of problems.
She was always sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unhappy in a sense.
So sad.
It was like his job to bring his mom's spirits up.
Right.
He says that he wanted them to feel like he was important, like he mattered. Them having her.
Oh, wait.
her-
Oh, Jim mattered is
yeah,
what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
them having Jim meant something.
Interesting. I like that. I have at the age of 8, he was already showing talents of making faces at 8. And I told Dave, at the age of 10, he wrote into the Carol Burnett show. He loved the Carol Burnett show, wanted to be on the show. I guess they would be open to new talent. But a 10-year-old, that's a stretch. So he wrote in anyway, and
Why
of
not?
course was denied. They sent him a cute little letter and everything. He worshipped that letter. I think he says that he wished he would have kept it. I don't think he kept it. But he did have it for a long time. He would bring it out and look at it. I could see that.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah. He was very proud of it. And he said in the letter that he had 120 characters already at the age of 10 in his back pocket. That is simply incredible.
It's crazy.
So from an early age, like Dave said, he was getting himself ready. Like, this is what he was going to do. I think he knew it back then.
Yeah, I do too.
He was giving an interview with his very first acting job. And they interviewed him and said, what's it like being there here in show business? And how is it affecting you? And he said, not that much. I've been doing this since I was a little boy. I've been preparing myself so much that I'm not really, I feel like I'm a veteran. So it goes to show his maturity level and how he was ready to be a big star. But I want to touch upon his struggles as a child. At the age of 14, his dad lost his job. He was an accountant, and he couldn't find work. And they were homeless. They lost their house.
The whole family had to get jobs.
Yeah.
They all worked together at a tire factory.
That's right. They were
like,
janitors.
janitors, and he also said security guards. I think.
The dad was a security guard. I know that.
Okay.
And the kids and the mom, they would clean the factory.
Yeah, Carrey even said in an interview, he's like, you know, he'd go to work for 8 hours after school and scrubbing pubic hair off of urinals.
He was in a bad way.
Yeah, the whole family, they were just, you know, obviously just very angry time.
Completely embarrassed at the fact that I guess Jim Carrey was a straight A student in school. When this happened, his grades plummeted. He became depressed, okay? You had to imagine this kid going to school and coming home. He's not out playing. He's got to go fucking work. Like you said, scrub pubic hairs off of urinals. That was what he had to do.
That's rough.
That would put a big dent into your psyche. And that's what sort of made him maybe more want to go out and do something in the world and to be happy. He's like, fuck this. I'm never going to have a job like this. This is bullshit. So it maybe gave him a little bit more drive to go out and become a success in comedy. The guy was a fucking funny guy. All right. So I also want to point out that they were so hard up and no place to stay. They live in a van because they left the factory. They were so miserable. They fucking quit. And they're like, you know what? I'd rather live in a van than work at this place. So that's what they did. They even set up tents in their sister's backyard, I heard.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Jim Carrey's sister, I think.
Yeah.
She was older.
She was older, and
They were
she had a
living in-
house.
Yeah, living in her yard.
In tents.
Pretty bad.
So, wow.
So this happened at 14 years old. At 15, that's when he and his dad took him down to Yuck Yucks,
Yucks.
a comedy.
Place in
Comedy,
Toronto, I think. I think it's near Toronto.
Yeah.
It was called Yucks. Him and his dad, right? They got a routine together.
Yeah, his dad helped him with the material, and 15 years old, his mom dressed him up in some polyester suit.
It was yellow.
He said that she's like, oh, all the comedians are wearing this or
Well,
whatnot.
I think she also felt too he would stand out maybe in
Maybe,
a bright yellow suit.
but he did not do well.
No,
He bombed.
he bombed. The owner of the place, I guess he announced the acts, and while Jim was giving his little act, he would actually say stuff like, boring.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? What a fucking asshole.
I know, he's 15, dude. I give him a lot of props.
Fuck yeah, I
At
do.
15 years old.
That
to
takes
go
a
up
lot
there.
of balls to go. Do you know how fucking hard it is to be a stand-up comedian?
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's hard enough to get yourself up there. That's the first step.
Yeah, just getting
I mean-
on stage in front of the mic.
Being confident enough to do that. Dave, you did that a few times.
Yeah.
You did a really good job, by the way.
Terrifying.
You know, getting the material together, being confident with it, and then getting up there. Because when you did your act, I thought you did a great job. How long ago
Thanks.
was that?
That
That was when we first
been,
moved
like,
back.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
like
a couple years.
2002.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was like 22 or something.
You were up there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like through the Beck Center.
Yeah.
Here in the area. where
Not easy.
I think we had to do like 5-10 minutes or something like that. It was like the longest 5-10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
you have no idea how fast time goes or how slow time goes when
Yeah.
you're trying to talk and it. But we had a lot of time to prepare. It was a nice
Yeah.
venue of just all my friends and family were there, so it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
exactly like a nightclub or anything.
It was a pretty decent sized place.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
Which was great though because it wasn't. The second time I did it was in a bar, and it was like, holy shit, these people aren't fucking here to. Like, I opened
listen to me.
for a band or something, and it was like, I cut it short, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I never did it again because it's so hard.
It is hard.
But Jim Carrey at 15 bombed. It took him, I think, 2 more years.
2 years. He was crushed
get back
by
at it.
He was crushed, saddened by the fact he got booed off the stage. His dad.
That's fucked up. That's
It's
just fucked up.
fucked
Let's
up.
bring it back to he's 15, man. That's
15.
a rough crowd.
That's a rough crowd. But these
mean,
places are like
God.
that, though, man. You got to have a stomach for that. These stand-up comedians, they get booed off the stage.
And I get that.
They're veterans that get booed off the stage.
Yeah, that's
They,
true.
They do.
That's true.
So you got to have the stomach for it. He was young. His dad kept at him. Said, Jim, listen, not everybody is going to like your stuff, number one. Number two, you just started.
Yeah.
Let's do a new routine. We'll work on it. When you're comfortable, we'll go back there. And we'll show him. And guess what? He did. 2 years later, he showed back up to Yuck Yucks with that fucking asshole owner and did a great job.
Same owner, huh?
Same owner. And he really did a great job. His routine grew. And he grabbed the attention of a few stars. One of them, Rodney Dangerfield. And is there any other notes about Yuck Yucks before we talk about Dangerfield?
No, I don't have anything.
Dangerfield was very impressed with Mr. Carrey. The big reason why is because Jim perfected his impressions. When he started out, that's what he concentrated on. He was great at impressions, not only his voice, but his face. He looked like these people. That can't be easy.
Right.
We're talking about hours upon hours in front of a mirror. And that's what he did. He even said he spent more time in the mirror than anything else. He perfected his craft. Dangerfield said, Jim, I got some shows lined up in Las Vegas. Would you come open for me? Of course I will. So that's what he did. And he also opened for, was it Buddy Hackett?
Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy Hackett. So
And he's like, what, 17 or something at this
he was
time?
young.
17, 18 years old.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. When you were 17, 18, he was opening up for Rodney Dangerfield
That's pretty huge.
in Vegas. So he was, okay, Canadian, right? Now he was in America doing his thing, doing it well, and decided to go ahead and move to Los Angeles at the age of 19. And I talked to Dave about this. He got work pretty quick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he did well right away at the Comedy Store,
yeah,
which is kind of, that's a
that's not
a big
easy.
deal.
Yeah.
That's kind of the place. And then he got work at that show, the Duck Factory.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of
That's 81.
81, but he was doing a lot of the stand-up, like we said. That was his main thing, was stand-up.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So being a comedian was something that he was good at, yes, but he was getting tired of it. When you're doing impressions, day after day after day. It gets a little boring, and you want to start doing something else. And when he got the Duck Factory, it was a sitcom on NBC. And him getting that job was like, I get to do something new. He was really excited about it. But there was one problem. He was playing a straight man. And I think that was a bad choice by the executives because Jim was a very outgoing guy. I saw clips of him backstage at this Duck Factory thing, and he was just being an idiot. You know Jim Carrey. He was cutting everybody up, having a blast. That's what he was good at. He wasn't ready for these straight-laced characters just yet.
Yeah, they didn't use him to his ability.
Exactly. And that's what they said. Like, critics said that, what are they doing having him playing a straight guy?
Yeah.
The guy's fucking hilarious. The show lasted like 8 weeks. Done. And during this time, getting this job, he had his parents move in with him.
Yeah, he wanted to support him.
Yeah.
So he asked them to move out there to L.A., move it into his house, and wanted to take care of them.
And the weird thing is they did. They moved to Los Angeles. They said, okay, Jim, we'll come live with you. And his mom was all sick still. Well, like you said, always sick. And him getting the show is canceled. There's no more paychecks coming in. He started to struggle. And the mom has all these bills. And they had to move back to Canada. He's like, I can't support you anymore.
Yeah, but I think it was also he couldn't handle it.
I had to.
He, from what I gathered in interviews, he just, he needed his own space. He wanted to be that son who's just like, I'm going to take care of you, like Elvis did with his mother.
Right.
But he couldn't do it. He was just like, I was losing my mind. He said, I had dreams of strangling my mother.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't read about that.
So they moved back to Canada, but he did still support them.
Okay. Like he would throw money their way?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that either. Wow. So, yeah. And I think it was a good idea that parents went back to Canada because he was able to sort of just be himself and concentrate on his craft. Now, after the Duck Factory, what do you have?
Well, he did some stuff. There was a TV movie called Rubberface.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
But the next thing I have is 1983. He did All in Good Taste. 84. He did Finders Keepers.
Okay,
I actually have Duck Factory's 84. Is that right?
Yeah, the Duck.
That was 84.
Yeah, the Duck Factory was his first big one. The other ones were sort of the small.
Yeah.
In the Duck Factory, he actually had a decent role.
Yeah, he was like the lead, wasn't he?
One of them.
I also have an interesting note about that show, and I don't know if you saw this.
Now this is the Duck Factory still?
The Duck Factory.
Okay.
Do you know who co-stars in that?
No. Who?
Jay Tarsis.
No!
Teen Wolf.
No!
Get the hell out of here.
Okay, now, if you listen to our other episode, it was the top 20 comedy...
Best
supporting.
Best small roles in comedies.
Jay Tarsis comes up in another episode.
I almost shit myself when I was looking through because I thought I looked at his IMDb and I don't remember seeing that. But when I looked up Duck Factory and I saw his name, I shit myself.
He worked with Jay Tarsis. He's on his way. Obviously, he was going in the right places.
On his way, he probably learned a lot of stuff from him. Jay Tarsis, by the way, is the coach in the movie Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox. And Jeff and I absolutely love his performance in this movie, which is a very small role, but it's worth watching.
I love that coach. What a great role. Jay Tarsis comes up in a Jim Carrey episode. Love it. This is going to be a great episode. I can feel it. All right. Okay, so...
But then after that, I have in 1985, his first big role.
In 85?
Once Bitten.
Yes. I watch it every now and then. Mm-hmm. It's on Netflix and stuff. You can find it. It's there.
I know when this came out, it was on HBO, I think, all the time.
It was.
And I remember watching it. I was probably maybe around 6 years old when it was finally on HBO. I used to watch it all the time.
And it came out in 85, so yeah.
It's probably...
I watched it a lot. And I still enjoy it. The movie itself is, it's a vampire movie. Lauren Hutton plays a sexy vampire. Right. And he's a virgin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And, he did an okay job. Yeah, I liked the movie. I thought that, he plays a teenager. I'm sure he wasn't. He was in his early 20s. But he looked young. He looked young enough. He pulled it off. Because, I have Michael J. Fox was the first choice to play Mark.
Right.
Okay? Right. And the producers really didn't want him. I guess.
They didn't think he could be a lead role or carry a movie.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Because, I mean, shortly after that, he did Back to the Future and Teen Wolf.
Yeah, man, he really lucked out then.
Yeah. But yeah, 1985, Once Bitten. If you've never seen it, go on Netflix or whatever, your provider. It's probably there. I suggest you watch it. You see a young Jim Carrey star in a movie. That was a starring role. His big first
bad.
one. Yeah, 1985. He returned to stand-up after this, I think, because he had a 2-year break at that point. Because he was doing movies and shows. And he was away from stand-up for 2 years. And decided that it's time to go back. He did different material, less impressions, and more improv, which is something else that he's fucking great at. Look at his interviews. They're out there, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Watch one of them. He is like Robin Williams. He takes over the interview.
And that's a good point because maybe we could. I guess we might as well mention it. But
Yeah,
when
go for it.
when he started getting big, there was that comparison between he's like a mix of Jerry Lewis and Robin Williams.
Yeah, he gets compared to Jerry Lewis a lot, I noticed, and Robin Williams. So that's a good point. Yeah, because when he's giving interviews, take notice when like David Letterman, Jay Leno, whoever he's with, they try to ask him a question. He cuts them off almost every time. He's got to be the center. Is that sort of like a insecurity that he has? If we're going to dive a little deep into his being,
I don't
so
know.
to speak.
And I've seen a lot of his interviews.
Yes.
I think he's just entertaining.
Okay,
and that's where he's a lot like Robin Williams. He's just up there being a character for the most part.
He's performing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's there to entertain.
Okay.
He
He has a skit or something in his mind he wants to, because he seems prepared.
Yes.
Every time.
I think he knows exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's like a little
For
show.
the most part.
It is. Where most actors and things, they come on there, they're themselves. And they talk about the movie and how their kids are doing, and it's usually pretty damn boring. With Jim Carrey, never, ever boring.
You never know what you're going to get.
Never.
But we're getting a little off track.
Yeah, we
think.
are, but that might happen a little bit. We may go back and forth and into the future a little bit. Okay.
Back to the Future.
His act would be up and down, I guess he would sometimes go up there on stage with no material at all. He would just go up there.
Which is funny because it contradicts what we just said.
But,
About how
right.
when he does an interview, he's like prepared with something weird. But when he did stand up, sometimes he would just be like, I have no fucking clue what I'm going to do.
That's unbelievable.
And other comedians are like, dude, what are you doing? Well, you're ruining yourself up there.
That's what Nick Cage was. He said, I guess Nick Cage and him became friends later on.
Well, they did. Peggy Sue Got Married.
And that's coming up in a little bit. That's his next movie I have.
Yeah.
Okay? I guess him and Nick are pretty good friends. And Nick was just floored that he would go up there with nothing. And he would sometimes fail. He would fail. He would lay on the ground and act like a cockroach. He would actually slip in between the stage and some other, I don't know, like a prop. And he would lay in between and see if he could get inside and disappear on the stage. He was doing all kinds of weird shit, just trying new things because he could.
He was bored. I think he
yeah.
would be bored. He's just like...
Would he get bored?
Maybe that's it. I'm kind of speculating, but that seems to be... It seems to be possible. Like, he gets bored with stuff, I think.
I think so, too. He gets easily bored. Yeah.
He needs something different.
I have here, he would collaborate with Judd Apatow. Okay, they met each other at this time. And they would get together and do skits together, things like that. And he would practice his characters like Fire Marshal Bill was born on stage at this time. That was not invented on The Living Color, that famous, Fire Marshal Bill. And he would meet actress Melissa Walmart. Is that her last name? Walmart?
No, Womer.
Walmer?
Womer.
Okay, I wrote that wrong. Okay.
Walmart?
I have Walmart. Not Walmart. Okay. But her name's Melissa, and they met at this time.
Yeah, she was also a struggling actress.
Yeah.
She did a little bit of writing and I think a little bit of stand-up, and she was a waitress at the Comedy Store.
Oh, okay. They married in 1987.
Yeah.
Had a daughter, Jane, the same year.
This is where I have, they got married in March of '87, and they had Jane 6 months later. Just thought I'd point that out.
Interesting.
Which, just real quick, Jane apparently was on the 2012 contest. She was a contestant on American Idol.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's got a band. I think it's called the Jane Carrey
So
Band.
she has a band?
Yeah.
Whoa, nice.
And bad job by me. I wanted to see what the band was like, and I forgot.
Didn't know. You didn't listen to it?
I didn't get a chance to listen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sure they're great. Anyways, this is a truth. Jim Carrey is an amazing father. That goes a long way with me. In my episodes, I like to point that out. These stars, it's hard enough to be a father. He takes great pride in being a father, and a lot of people have said that he is a good dad. And I like that.
That's awesome.
It goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
As far as a person is concerned, he really does care for his kids.
Well, I mean, he was really close with his dad, and he had that connection, so I'm sure he wanted to kind of do the same.
Love that.
Probably wasn't too difficult for him.
I do. And the next movie I want to discuss is Peggy Sue Got Married in 1986. I just watched it last week again. I've seen
did?
it. Yeah. Yeah, I did. It was on, I think it was on Stars or something like that. I saw it. I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's great.
Francis Ford Coppola directed it, and it stars Nicolas Cage.
Kathleen Turner.
Oh, yeah, Kathleen Turner is so hot in that movie. It's so sad what happened to her.
Man,
she had like bad back pain, and she took like all kinds of medications, and she looks like a man now. She was so hot back then.
She really was.
And a really good movie. What do you feel about this movie?
Well, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Okay, but your memory of it.
It's bizarre.
It's a time travel movie.
Nick Cage is so weird in this movie.
Yeah.
He's weird anyway.
He changed his voice for the movie.
It's a hell of a
really weird decision.
Hell of a choice.
People were not happy about it. Okay? And other like Kathleen Turner would go up to Coppola, be like, did you approve this? Because he sounds like an idiot. And Coppola's like, just try to do the best you can. Use what you're feeling, maybe, and put it into the scene. So that's what she would do. And yeah, like you said, Cage, he's a different kind of guy. An artist, I would say.
Yeah.
And, I liked Nick Cage's performance, but Jim Carrey actually is in more of it than I thought. He plays one of his friends. Mm-hmm. Like, he sings with them on stage. He acts like a goofball. His character's a goofball. Great choice. And he did a fine job. Yeah. I thought his acting was fine. It's a really good movie. Peggy Sue Got Married. And I want to see if I have any other notes here. Nick Cage changed his voice. Strange. You got that. And that's it. A note is that Coppola and Cage are related. If you didn't know, Coppola is Nick's real name is Coppola, not Cage. He changed his name, I don't know, to sound cooler, maybe?
No, actually, upon my research, I had read an interview with Nick Cage. When he did Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he got a lot of shit from all the other co-stars because he was a Coppola. And he's like, they fucking harassed and hounded the shit out of him. To the point where he was like, that's it, I'm changing my name.
Changing my name.
And the next movie he did, he was Nick Cage, and no one knew, I can't remember who the actress was, but she didn't know he was a Coppola. And he's like, and he felt free, and he's like, you could see it in my performance. I just, from there on, it's...
Yeah.
He didn't feel like he had anything to prove, and...
I like it. I do.
I like it, too.
I really do.
He didn't want to become famous because of his name.
Yeah, I think that's great. I do. Good for him, and I'm a big Nick Cage fan. A lot of people aren't. I am. And we'll discuss him. I'm looking forward to doing an episode on Nick Cage. I think it'll be a lot of fun. He's got a lot of talent. Not recently, but he has done some great work. Next picture I want to talk about with Jim Carrey is The Deadpool in 1988. Why? Because it's directed... I'm sorry, not. It stars Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood loved Jim Carrey's work in the past. Stand up, he does a great Eastwood impression.
Yeah.
People say that's like their favorite of him is doing Eastwood. And Eastwood ate it up. He thought he did a great job with him impersonating him. Felt he was very talented and had him play in this movie very small role.
Very tiny.
Yes. He plays like a rock star.
Rock star who's all strung out on drugs or something.
Yeah.
And then gets shot.
Yeah, he gets killed like
Gets
right in the
killed.
beginning of the movie, right?
Yeah, it's right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's a Dirty Harry movie, like the last one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Eastwood was impressed with the audition tapes that Carrey sent in and imitating him and things like that. And Clint also had him in Pink Cadillac doing his Elvis impression. So, simply stated, Clint likes Jim, period. And I think that's noteworthy because Clint Eastwood is on another level.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
And, you know, you see talent, and he saw Jim Carrey, and he felt that he was very talented. And that's noteworthy. Earth Girls Are Easy, 1988.
Good
This is a
God.
classic. This is a horrible movie.
To say the least.
Silly.
Cool cast, though. I mean,
Oh, that cast is great.
you know, Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where he meets Damon Wayans, and later
That's a
on,
big deal.
They'll work again together.
That's why this movie's significant, because he's
Yeah.
introduced to
It's the
Damon
only reason.
and his brother Keenan. Is it Keenan? I have his name here.
Keenan Ivory Williams.
Yeah,
Williams?
I think it's Ivory, because he was the producer of In Living Color.
Yeah, he was the Lorne Michaels of In Living Color.
And that's why I'm going to go ahead and just dive into it. In Living Color is what I have next. Is that what you have next?
Pretty much, but
Okay.
I think something significant around this time in 88,
Okay.
90, around In Living Color, this is when Jim Carrey writes a check to himself for
Oh.
$10 million.
This is good.
It's for acting services rendered by Thanksgiving 1995. And this is a little piece of paper that he kept in his wallet this whole time. And, you know, he's getting work, but he's, you know, he hasn't really made it. He's just,
He's
you know,
doing well.
He's doing well, but he wanted to be a big star. So
Oh, yeah.
he would drive up to Mulholland Drive
Yeah.
and envision, just look at the city
Mm-hmm.
and just envision being this big star. And this is something that we should probably talk about
Okay.
because he's really in, you know, his whole life he was very into visualizing and learning more about himself, analyzing himself.
Yeah, he did a lot of that.
He's done this his whole life, and this visualizing being a big star.
He would see it
He would see it. He
Yeah.
wouldn't leave the top of Mulholland Drive
until he believed it.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's
And
powerful.
So, and it was because he would come down the hill and he felt positive, felt good,
Confident.
confident, and that is
That's half the battle.
it
folks.
really is because you know if you're a struggling artist out there of any kind, man, it's easy to be negative.
It's easy to let the business ruin you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of rejection, a lot of bad stuff going on in the business, and it's very easy to slip into that. You got to be confident in yourself. And I think that's what a great point, Dave. He would drive up there and he wouldn't leave until he believed it. I'm going to be a big fucking star. I'm going to make it fucking happen. And that's what he did. That check, $10 million he wrote. Put it in his pocket, kept it there until he was making $10 million a movie and more. I mean, he did it. He
Yeah.
fulfilled his dream.
And we'll definitely get to that point, but it's very significant that he did that.
He did that.
He had to be in the right frame of mind to gain success.
And I love that he cashed that check. He fucking cashed it.
That and a lot more.
$10 million.
So,
Wow.
So we jump into In Living Color,
Woo!
which is fucking great. I mean,
Wow.
we grew up at the best time, man. Like
We
In
really
Living
did,
Color,
man.
I was about 10 years old. You were probably
I was a young
just in high
teenager.
school,
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, freshman year.
No, I would get together with Dave Lobus and all them. Oh, Dave Lobus loves Jim Carrey, by the way.
Big time.
And so does my other buddy, Bob Marar. He acts just like him. We idolized this guy. We would go over to Dave's house on Sunday night. We all go over there and sit our asses down to watch Jim Carrey every Sunday. We
Let's
go
not
over his
forget the
house.
rest of that cast was pretty fucking
Oh,
awesome.
Damon Wayans, I think, is so underrated. I love that guy.
You know who's even more? David Allen Greer.
Oh, yeah. He was good,
Dude,
too.
I was hoping for a lot more. I don't know how he didn't get... He
really
didn't do a whole lot.
Nah, he shined on that show, and that was about it.
He did some movies, but I felt... I thought he was hilarious.
He was funny as hell. Good point, Dave. I forget about him because he didn't do anything after that. He really didn't.
Tommy Davidson.
Yeah, he did some stuff. He stayed up for a bit.
But yeah, I mean,
little guy.
This was something completely different from SNL.
Yeah.
It had its own feel to it.
It did.
It was great. These whole new characters.
They made fun of anything and everything. That's what Keenan wanted to do. No boundaries. They made fun of everybody. And it worked so well. And Jim Carrey, I mean, his characters he created, the Fire Marshal Bill is probably the most popular one. But he had other ones. Remember when he was like the bodybuilder?
Yes, I was just going to say.
he had his hair pulled back into like a little...
Well, no, there was like two
Oh,
pigtails.
yeah, pigtails.
I mean,
That string bikini. Oh my God.
and this is where we never saw something like this guy before. He was so all over the place with his impressions and all these different characters. You're just like, is this guy human? What is this?
It was really weird too when you'd watch him on that show. You're like, this guy's gonna be fucking big. You just knew it.
Yeah, you're right, man.
You knew that guy was gonna do something else eventually.
And we might as well get into.
Might as well.
1994.
Yes.
The year of Jim Carrey.
Oh, God, you got that right. I mean, you talk about somebody just exploding off the map. I mean, yeah, he was popular on In Living Color, but that was a smaller audience. You got young teenagers watching that show. You don't have the, older people watching that show. Maybe some. But that was a show primarily focused upon younger kids.
Audience.
And yeah, it was. So
when you saw commercials or, the ads come out with Ace Ventura, you're like, oh my God, this guy's in a movie.
Oh, he's going to be in a movie.
He's going to be a movie? Fire Marshal Bill's in a movie? I remember just talking to our cousins about, can't wait to see it.
Oh, dude, it was a big fucking deal.
And man, did it not disappoint. I literally fell out of my fucking chair.
Me too. With laughter. I laughed the whole time.
And like I said, we just never seen anything close to this.
Nothing. And doing a movie like this is a risk. Because you could fall flat on your face. But Jim Carrey, no way. We all knew that he was going to be good.
Yeah, he
took that risk.
The movie, initially, this movie had a different feel to it. Apparently, Ace Ventura was more of like kind of a loser type.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, no. He didn't like the original script.
He hated it.
So he would, after In Living Color filming, all night, he'd work on that script.
He is credited as a screenwriter for this movie. Mm-hmm. He wrote that damn thing.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because I'm sure he did a lot of improv too. Okay.
Do you think?
Okay.
The whole fucking thing is pretty much improv.
He had a base of a script in front of him, but, a loosely based script. He went off. He did his improv. The first character in film history to talk out of their ass. He actually talked out of his ass.
Do you know where that stemmed from?
No.
It was during maybe like a read through or just like when they would sit around in Living Color bouncing ideas off each other. Keenan Ivory Williams wasn't taking him seriously with some of the skits and things that Jim Carrey wanted to do.
Yeah.
So Jim Carrey turned around and started talking out of his ass.
That's okay. I read that. Okay.
Apparently, what I hear, Keenan didn't really like that too much.
He didn't.
Got
They didn't get along a lot, I heard.
Oh, really?
They did not.
Yeah,
they fought a lot. Creative differences. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's got his way of doing things. Okay?
Yeah, it wasn't his show.
It wasn't. Exactly. And Keenan's like, whoa, buddy, hold on. My show. Mm-hmm. I tell you what to do. You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But Jim would do this later on in his work. I think he's kind of hard to work with.
Well,
we'll get into that. I think he is. I think he is.
I can agree with you. If you're not with him, look out.
Yeah, if you're not with him, you're against him.
If you're with him, you're going to have a blast and you're just going to go just fine.
Yeah.
And that's Finn, if anyone heard.
That's the doggy.
Some jingle.
It's Christmas time. Jingle bells. He's wearing jingle bells.
Yeah.
But, Ace Ventura was just a landmark film, a comedy in film history. Most of the world has seen it. I don't have the exact amount of how much it made, but it made a lot.
It did. Oh yeah, it did well. I have the director Tom Shadyac.
Yeah.
This is his first directing film.
Yeah, that's right.
And when he got done watching it, he was a little worried it was going to end his career.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, what the fuck have I done?
What did I do?
This is my first movie. Got guys talking out of their ass saying, alrighty then.
I know, right?
Like, He's like, what am I doing? But he was way wrong.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and point this out that Jim Carrey based his character off of a parrot. And if you take notice, he walks like a parrot.
Yeah.
Okay, his mannerisms with his neck, the way he jerks it around like a bird, and what he wore. He looked like a fucking parrot.
Yeah.
Bright colors.
Hawaiian shirt.
And when he sat down and had a dinner with Anthony Hopkins, later on, they talked about that. And Anthony Hopkins is like, that's awesome. He
Yeah.
based his character on I think a reptile. So they shared that same, how they went around to do their character, and they had sort of that thing that they can identify with.
Brando acted like a tiger when he did Streetcar Named
That's
Desire.
right. Using that animal instinct to help your performance. He was very into that. A lot of preparing, making sure that he was going to do something different, and it worked because I didn't know that. And when I watch it next, I'm going to take notice of that.
Yeah.
He was a parrot. That's what he based it on. I thought that was noteworthy. Anything else about Ace before we move on?
No, just that it was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Is the best
You
way
got
to put
that
it.
fucking right. God bless America. He's a big star now, Dave.
So yeah, after this, that was released in February of '94.
Yeah.
In July of '94, The Mask
Oh, yeah.
is released.
Now, I really, as far as acting goes, I liked his performance as an
Good.
actor
It's good.
in The Mask. He
He's all
blossomed.
he's back and forth.
Yes.
He gets to play around and be the goofy
Yeah.
as The Mask, but he's kind of the straight guy.
I loved
as
Stanley Ipkiss. I love Stanley.
Yeah,
I did.
He's a likable character.
He played Stanley very well.
I thought so too.
His salary for this was $450,000, and a nice bargain considering what he's going to make in the future. Carrey is really singing, not dubbed, in this movie. I want to point this out. Jim Carrey can sing.
He's got a good voice.
I'll even go further and say that I think he's got a Broadway voice. He's that good.
Yeah.
He could stand
see
on
that.
stage on Broadway and do a musical and pull it off. He's that good. This is a talented man, big time. You look at his overall picture of what he can do. He could do a lot. He could bring a lot to the table as an artist. And
He could dance too.
he danced very well in that movie
Yeah.
with what's her name,
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Her first movie.
her first movie, and wanted to point that out. Tremendous singing voice, very talented, and the film was huge. First one to gross over $100 million. Wow.
Wow.
That's incredible. So, I mean, The Mask, as far as The Mask goes, it's a silly movie. It's a cartoon movie. It fit very well into who he was. And he was starting to become picky with what he was going to do next because he's on a roll here. You got The Mask, Ace Ventura, and then he dives into another project.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit at this point. And before we get into Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
September 13th, 1994, Carrey's father passes away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a big deal.
This is a big deal for Jim.
Yeah.
Because he just started getting the success.
Yeah.
I think his father finally, he was there to at least witness his son make it.
Yeah, because his mom passed in 91, so she really didn't get to see the big
No,
success.
He just started on In Living Color,
Yeah.
so it was on TV. So
Which is good.
He's obviously making it
But his dad saw him.
blow up.
Yeah. Which was good. And maybe he hung on for a little bit longer than maybe he would have. But he got to see his son become a big star.
And when his father passed, he placed that $10 million check in his father's coat.
No way.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So that check is with his father.
Yes.
Wow.
And, one other note that what he learned from his father is that there's no harm in asking There's no harm in asking for what you want from the universe rather than settling for a life less than one's dream.
Yeah. That's what Jim kind of based his success on, was the fact that he wanted to be happy with what he was doing in life.
Yeah.
Making people laugh was something he was great at, and to able to make money and to make a living, being funny and being in the entertainment field, and he was doing it. So he made his father proud. I'm sure the rest of his family was very proud of him. And his dad was a big part of that success. And he was a lot like his dad. And his dad got to, I think, sort of live through that with his son.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Good point, Dave. Now moving on to one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Never gets tiring.
His third big hit of 94.
It went boom, boom, boom.
Just couldn't stop him.
All these movies came out in 94. How the fuck did he do that?
Yeah, man.
I've never seen anything like that. The guy was busy, that's for sure. Dumb and Dumber, 1994. The only movie that I remember watching with like a group of friends because we just couldn't wait to see it. And I think the main thing about this movie that I scratched my head about when I first sat down to watch it was Jeff Daniels.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? Jeff Daniels is no comedic actor.
And nobody wanted him to do this.
Nobody. Nobody except Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels, his agents called him the day before he had to go to get fitted for his costume. They called it like, listen, don't do this.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. And he's like, fuck you, I'm doing it.
They thought it would ruin his career.
Yeah.
You know, he was a serious actor. Like, please don't do this.
And they had other actors they wanted. They wanted Jim Carrey to be alongside another comedian. That just made sense.
It does.
But Jim Carrey wanted Jeff Daniels, pulled for him, said, I'm not doing it without him. When Jeff Daniels came in and read with Jim Carrey, it worked. Jim knew it. He wanted a real actor.
Right. That's what I have here, too.
Yeah.
He wanted a real actor.
He wanted that stability to work off as somebody that knew what the fuck they were doing. And I didn't realize it until maybe my second or third viewing of this movie that Jeff Daniels is actually pretty funny in this movie.
Absolutely.
And that's why it worked. He was, I don't know, man, the haircut and everything, it was so different. I mean, I don't know. What else do you want to say about Dumb and Dumber? I mean, because there could be a lot we could talk about with this one.
No, that's pretty much all I have. I have the same stuff.
Okay. The original script was written by John Hughes. I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. And Carrey, at the time they were shooting this film, wanted to stay at the Stanley Hotel. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, if you don't know, the Stanley Hotel is like this big hotel. It's rumored to be haunted, and he wanted to stay in room, what room was it? 217?
Yeah, 217.
I guess that room's haunted, folks. He stayed in that room. How long did he last, Dave?
One night.
He lasted 2 hours.
Oh,
he
2
ran
hours?
out of there in the middle of the night and never explained why he left. Doesn't want to talk about it.
God, I'd love to know.
Me too.
Like, what the hell happened?
Now he goes in there with like this thought, like, okay, this place is haunted. This is going to be awesome. And now when you're in that frame of mind, every little thing you hear, like your mind does things to you, I think.
I do too. Anytime I'm done watching a horror movie based on ghosts for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 days, I think my house is haunted.
Yeah.
I'm just like, every noise, I'm like, that's a ghost.
Yeah. So I bet you he just worked himself up.
Probably.
You know, and probably heard like a crackle in the background and left. But I thought that was a nice little note there. Dumb and Dumber, 1994. And back to back hits. He is now like, you can't get any bigger.
No.
You can't. And
he was the biggest star.
And Dumb and Dumber, he made $20 million, I think. Is that true?
Let me check.
Okay.
'Cause I think I have this down. No,
He
made
was
7.
Oh,
7
he
million.
made 7. Okay, that comes later, I guess.
It does come later.
Okay. And before we move on from Dumb and Dumber, the ending is fascinating. When they don't get on the bus. They wanted them to get on the bus, and he said they would not get on the bus. I want them. Every time I see that movie, I want them to get on the bus. They deserve
But the
to be on that
town
bus.
is that way. Jeff. Jim's like that. He's like, I'm not gonna do one fucking shot of us getting on that bus.
It ain't happening. The town is that way. When they're on that fucking moped, Dave.
No. When the snot is frozen to their face.
My God.
There's a lot of parts. Let's just be honest. With
Oh,
ourselves.
they're driving in the dead of winter in Aspen on that fucking moped.
We're there.
We're there. And he's got to piss. Just go, man. Oh, it's warm. I love it, dude. There's some great stuff. Great scenes in that movie. We could talk about it for
The only other thing is not really significant to the actual movie, but this is when he meets Lauren Holly. And this kind of ends his relationship with his wife.
Now, do you think he was cheating on her?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that. But after 7 years of marriage with Melissa Walmer...
Not Walmart?
Not Walmart.
Walmart.
Fucking
Melissa Walmart. I swear to God, that's what they said. All right.
dick.
But yeah, 7 years they were married. And yeah, they came to an end after this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he met Lauren Holly, and hey...
She's hot.
She is.
She's pretty hot. Ginger. Is she ginger? She had red hair in that movie.
She did.
And she also did in Matt Dillon, Timothy Hutton movie.
Oh, Beautiful Girls.
Yeah, she was hot in that one too. She had red hair. But anyways, they got together. I think they were together for a while.
Not long.
No.
They got married, and it lasted less than a year.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
Good decision there.
Okay, I think Batman Forever is the next of note.
Yeah, that'd be 95.
The Riddler.
He plays the Riddler. Everyone thought it was going to Robin Williams.
Right.
But I mean, who better to play the Riddler than Jim Carrey?
I thought it was a perfect choice.
It was. Too bad the movie was
Bad?
bad.
I don't want to say bad. It just didn't hold up. Like the original and the...
It had such a different feel to it from the other two with Michael Keaton.
Now, my memory is escaping me. Who else is in that? Is that Tommy Lee?
Tommy Lee Jones plays Two-Face.
Okay.
Val Kilmer plays Batman.
Ah, the worst Batman character, actor, Val Kilmer.
I don't know. George
Clooney is a close second.
Pretty bad.
Whatever. Anyways, I don't want to get too much into that. The Riddler, okay, got it. The movie,
His relationship with Tommy Lee Jones, though, is something to talk about.
Yeah, you mentioned they didn't get along.
No.
Now, what happened there?
Well, come on. It's Tommy Lee Jones.
Is he kind of like a
Working
stick in the mud?
I don't know about that, but
Okay.
if you're working with Jim Carrey, who's completely fucking crazy...
It could be trying on anybody.
He did not really care for working with Jim Carrey. And at one point...
Yeah. What happened?
I think this was like during filming, no, I'm sorry, during the filming of it, but like Jim Carrey went out to eat, and Tommy Lee Jones was there at a table.
All right, so some
obviously.
restaurant, okay.
And he went over to say hi. And he's like, Tommy, how you doing? And the way Jim Carrey explains it, he's like, the blood just drained from his face. He's like, he got up shaking.
What?
And he's just like, he must have been in mid-kill me fantasy or something like that. And he went to hug him, and Tommy Lee's like, I hate you. I really don't like you.
Wow, what a dick.
And he's like, what's the problem? And he pulled up a chair. Which is like, probably wasn't smart. And he said, I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Buffoonery? I mean, okay, Jim Carrey's hard to work with on set. Why do you have to be an asshole off set?
Probably because
You know what
he's
I
been
mean?
dealing with him all day for months or whatever.
Okay.
And then he's like out trying to relax on the night. And he's there. Is there that one person maybe you're just like, man, I don't like that guy.
I just don't want to deal with him.
Maybe you're not a dick to him. You're just like, I just don't like him. Then you see him on your day off or something, and when you're trying to relax, you're just like, oh, God.
There's that guy. Okay, all right. I mean, hey. Tommy Lee Jones is Tommy Lee Jones. Okay? And Jim Carrey's Jim Carrey. They don't... Oil and water...
You can say that.
And there you go. But Jim fucking with them a little bit. That's what Jim does. He'll fuck with you. I'm sorry, Tommy Lee. All right, so Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, bad sequel.
You really?
It's funny. Don't get me wrong.
I thought it was hilarious.
And he has some moments that are pretty funny. I laugh out loud. But it's not like Ace Ventura, the first one. How many are?
No, but man, I enjoyed it.
Yeah? Okay.
I did. I liked it. And he didn't want to do that movie. I mean, he felt like he was doing an impression of Ace Ventura.
Yeah, it kind of came through that way.
Right.
It's not one I'm going to pop in. I'll be honest with you.
I'd pop it in.
Yeah, you pop it in?
Yep. Hey,
I'd pop in this one. I'd pop in this one. The Cable Guy.
Is that,
One One of my favorite Jim Carrey movies, if not maybe top 3.
Wow.
I think that he gives one of his best performances in this movie. Very underrated. It's a gem. I absolutely adore it. Directed by Ben Stiller. Another genius. Do you have what do you think about his performance?
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a darker kind of role.
Oh, yeah.
And you see his acting sort of spread in this movie, I thought. He gives moments that are quite genuine. His improv skills show through in his work. And you get little moments where you're like, I like that. And as an actor, when I study roles, I go watch his performance in this and just, I nod. And I go, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And Matthew Broderick is completely miscast in this movie.
He is so bad in this.
You agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was awful.
He kind of ruins the movie.
He almost like he walked through
Oh, absolutely.
this movie. Like he didn't give a shit about it. What the fuck?
It could have been much better if they had someone else other than Matthew Broderick.
It would have been better, I think.
Right. It would have been a lot better.
I love the movie, but man, there's something about Broderick, and I like Broderick. I don't like him in this. I know you're not a big Broderick fan. I don't think you are.
Besides
Ferris?
Ferris and Biloxi Blues, I think that's about it.
And I also didn't like the love interest of him, too. I think what's her name?
Oh, I don't know.
I have it written down here. I didn't like her either. I put Broderick was miscast. I didn't like his love interest either. Leslie Mann. I don't like her.
I like her.
I don't.
Really?
No,
I think
not at
she's
all.
funny.
Andy Dick was funny in his small role.
Yeah, and I hate him.
Oh, I like him. I think he's
Really?
hilarious. Oh, yeah.
He's annoying.
The role was written for Chris Farley.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
He passed away.
Jim Carrey is not athletic, they said. He can barely dribble a basketball.
Yeah.
Funny. I'm not surprised for some reason. He doesn't look like the type to like sports or anything. Am I right?
No, yeah, I kind of get that.
No,
too.
he doesn't give a shit about sports at all. $20 million paycheck was on this one.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
$20 million. Now, he'll go on to say later on that looks like a big number, but after they take out like percentages and
sure.
taxes, he said it's around 6. Still a lot of money.
No shit.
Yeah, that's something.
Wow.
That's a lot they take out, man. All right. Next up, Liar, Liar. And I don't know. I like the movie. His performance, overacting his ass off. And I'm getting tired of watching that overacting. I know that's Jim Carrey, but it wears on me sometimes. And when I watch this movie, I just see him overact his ass off.
Yeah. He does, and that's at times it could be a little much, but
Yeah.
for me, overall, I love this movie.
Yeah.
But this is probably the most over the top he is. Maybe
Yeah.
next to Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
That character.
Yeah. But he plays more of
Probably
a
even-
straight-laced guy. He plays a lawyer.
Yeah.
He could have brought it back a little, I think.
It's such a ridiculous premise, and he
Yeah.
just took that and ran with it.
Okay.
You know, which I think it was appropriate, and
Yeah.
I don't think would have worked with anybody else.
Yeah, you might be right.
You know.
I guess the claw.
Yeah.
That was invented by his dad.
Right.
Okay, so that's a dad reference in the movie he used. Jennifer Tilly said she was honored to work with Jim Carrey in this movie. I like Jennifer Tilly. I just do.
Yeah.
She's I think she's a really nice actress, and she did a really nice job in this movie. Liar, Liar, another big hit. I don't know if it was as big as some of the other ones in the past, but it did well at the box office. Any other notes on Liar, Liar?
Carrie Elwes, whatever his fucking name is.
I don't know how to say his last name.
No one does.
Yules?
Elways?
I have no idea.
Elways? I don't know.
I like him as an actor, and boy, was he... What does Jim Carrey call him? Magoo? He's a little Magoo?
Yeah.
He is. He did well.
Such a dork.
Yeah.
But people still come up to him today.
Yeah.
And they're like, do the claw.
The claw. I want to see your claw. It's like a finger.
Yeah, it's just a finger. But yeah, I had that just because I think it was funny.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on to The Truman Show?
No, Truman Show, 1998. Jim Carrey wins Golden Globe, Best Performance by an Actor for this performance.
Deserved.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's an excellent movie.
Directed
The premise.
by Peter Weir, who did Dead Poets Society and
Woohoo!
Witness, Fearless.
Yeah. Great movies.
This is such a great premise for a movie.
I think about this all the time. I did it just today. When I go down this one street, I swear to God, there's a car that comes by when I make a turn every fucking time. And I think to myself, Truman Show.
Really?
There's people set up waiting for them to come by. How is that possible? That something like that happens every time. And that's what this movie's all about. He's this guy, his whole life is in front of the camera, but he doesn't know it. But he's catching on to it. Like things happening, he's finally catching on, and he realizes that his life has been a fucking joke. When you think about this, it's a fucked up premise, but it's genius. Because everybody feels that way. Like, I'm the only one that exists. Like, everybody else is a player. And, like, I'm the star. It's kind of a weird thing. Like,
well,
people
it's an
think
actual,
about that.
It has been now like an actual syndrome. The Truman Show syndrome. People believe they're on camera all the time.
They do. At certain points in your life, you may be walking around and you feel like somebody's watching you. You get that eerie feeling like you're not alone.
No.
And
not
Jim
really.
Carrey was never alone in this movie. Maybe when he slept, they turned off the, like the broadcast.
No, I don't think so. No,
They watched him
it
sleep?
ran 24/7.
Oh my God, man, that is so messed up. And I think about this too. Kind of weird. Like when he would jerk off, what would they do? Because you knew he would jerk off.
If you remember that one when they talked to like the fans of the show.
Yeah.
When there was the sex scene with him
Laura.
I never remember her fucking
Laura
name.
Linney.
Laura Linney. I
Yeah.
think that's the second time on this podcast. I can't
She's
remember
come
her
up and we're like,
fucking name.
what the hell's her name? Laura Linney. Yeah.
When they have sex, the fans like, oh, they just always kind of pan out and you
Yeah.
hear music or whatever.
They show like the drapes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's probably what they did when he
Okay.
masturbated. Play some nice
Nice
music.
music. He's having a good time. Fucked up, man. And Ed Harris. Brilliant. They never saw each other.
No, they never met during
On set.
the
movie.
filming.
They never met. They never acted. Well, they did, sort of. But I don't think they were face-to-face ever.
It was only a voiceover
Yeah.
where Ed Harris finally talks to him.
At
He's
the
like,
end, yeah.
Where are you going? Like, what are you doing?
Oh, man. Oh, Ed Harris, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've mentioned before how we love Ed Harris, so.
Okay, I have this quote. People on the set were forbidden to quote any lines from his previous silly movies. What the fuck is that? Think about that. The people on the set were forbidden to mention any movies in his past.
Huh.
Okay? What is that saying?
Peter Weir made that point.
Who made that point? I wonder.
Well, yeah, I figure it was Peter Weir because he was the director.
Or was it Jim Carrey?
Yeah, who knows? They obviously wanted to have a different. This is his first dramatic role,
Right.
So obviously, maybe that was the drive behind it. It's like, let's forget that he talks out of his ass. And
Okay.
that could have been
This
the
is
reason why.
this is a serious
Yeah.
movie. We're not.
Let's forget all that shit.
Okay. Okay.
No Dumb and Dumber
okay.
references and
Right.
liar, liar.
The way you explain it, it makes sense. When I first saw that quote, I thought my feeling was that Jim's like, okay, everybody, no talking about Ace Ventura. We're not going there. But that might not be the case. It was just like an overall thing. Like, we're not talking about that. This is a serious movie. We're concentrating on this movie. No bullshit. And that I get.
That could be it.
And now, does he pull it off, Dave?
Yes.
Peel off the layers. Does Jim Carrey truly pull it off?
To be a dramatic
Yes,
actor?
in this movie.
I don't think it called for a dramatic role that I was hoping for.
Okay.
But by design of how it was written and directed,
Yeah.
he pulled it off.
Okay.
But I don't think it's any fault to his own that it didn't reach that level of drama that I was kind of hoping for. The most you get is at the very end when he figures it out and he's on that boat and he's really kind of losing it because he doesn't know what's going on and he hits that wall That's
Yeah.
kind of the only part you get with actual emotion.
Okay.
That deeper emotion that I was looking for throughout almost the whole film.
Okay. Because I'm on the fence, I think they did a fine job. I really do. And the movie itself is great. I think it's a great movie. A lot of people feel that this is his best movie, favorite of Jim Carrey. And
I can't fault anyone for that.
I can't. And nominated for a Golden Globe.
He won it.
Oh, he won it.
He won the Golden Globe.
You're right. I'm sorry.
He won it.
won the Golden Globe. He was up against like De Niro and.
It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Good for him.
I'm not sure what he was up against as far as what De Niro was in, but that's pretty. It's notable.
He was
impressive.
not. He was not nominated for any Oscar.
No.
Interesting. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one, man. This one's deep. This one's heavy. This will change his life.
That's
I
right.
think
No.
this
no,
is when he changes.
He even admits it,
Okay. Oh, he does. He should.
pretty much.
Man on the Moon, 1999. He portrays the comedic genius, sort of. I want to say
Misunderstood?
That. Yes. Thank you. Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman is a legend in the business. People consider him a stand-up comedian. He's not.
No.
He's not.
Entertainer.
He's an entertainer. He's a performer. And I don't know if he truly knew who he was as a person. Maybe he did. I think he had a lot of issues, but a different kind of character.
Not to cut you off.
No,
but
go. I'm done.
Carrey stood at Kaufman's gravesite with Kaufman's sister at one point.
Okay.
And his sister summed up Andy, what Jim Carrey thinks is perfectly, as he was someone who didn't belong in a club, in that he made up his own club that no one else could be a part of.
Okay. That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. He was just so different. He wanted the shock value. He wanted to, like, it was his game.
He didn't want the initial laugh. It's like he wanted you to think about it a week later and be like,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of a long con. Not
Right.
like a short con where you go up there and you give him a laugh. It was more like he wanted you to think about it. And Danny DeVito, who starred with him in Taxi, said that you never truly knew who the real Andy Kaufman was. Was he acting? Was that really him? You never knew who the real Andy Kaufman was. I find that fascinating, and so did Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, before he did this movie, was a big fan of Kaufman and was flattered that he was up for the role. A lot of people wanted to do this role a lot. I guess it was either going to be Jim Carrey or Edward Norton. Those were the two finalists. And Edward Norton, that's interesting. How he would have done. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I
but
can't. I find it hard to even imagine.
No, it's hard to because Jim did so well. He became Andy Kaufman. He did.
Yeah.
He did. He went so deep, it's scary, and I think that he went so deep,
He never came back.
I don't think he came back.
Not fully.
Not fully. And that's dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be. You want to talk a little further about that?
Well, I mean, it was that whole method acting. He
Yeah.
was Andy the whole time. There was no. There's a new documentary on
Jim and Me?
Jim and Andy, I think
Oh,
it was
Jim
called.
and Andy, yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Bizarre. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it came out shortly after the movie.
Okay. It came out years later.
Yeah, it just came out recently.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago. I think a year ago.
And Jim was not in a good state at this time, in my opinion.
He went so method that it's like he needed to consult with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
You know, like
He went
Daniel
that method.
Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to talk to those guys and be like, get me out of this. Because he fell so deep into it that he, you know, REM had the song Great Beyond, and they wanted
Yeah.
him to be in it, and he had to turn it down because he's like, no, I can't. I'm so,
Yeah.
you know, I need to shed off Andy Kaufman.
I can't do this anymore, is what he was thinking. It's
Pretty
like,
much.
I'm done.
Pretty much.
At this point in his life, I think he comes off pompous, and you know what? That's going to happen. He's had so much success. He's had so much adulation. When people are calling you a genius every day, you're bound to get a big head. and I think this is what happened with Jim Carrey at this time in his life. His head got kind of big. I mean, do you agree with me on that?
I do.
Okay.
To a point, I do.
Okay.
He gained so much success and he could do whatever he wanted. And it was this role that where he even says, and I think it's from, I don't know if it's from Jim and Andy, my bad, but he says, this is his quote. It was about immersing myself in a character or a couple of characters so deeply that I realized that myself, Jim Carrey, was a character as well and something I could push aside at will.
Yeah.
So once you know that, you go, who am I?
Yeah.
And he said this just in 2017.
Yeah, this
Last
is
year.
recent. I know.
So
He lost himself.
You know he did. And it's, I don't know, because we've never experienced that, you know.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask a Dustin Hoffman or a Daniel Day-Lewis who kind of go about that same approach.
Yeah.
You know, where Daniel Day was Lincoln the whole time.
Right.
Or whatever role he is.
He becomes the character too. Yeah.
He's apparently able to strip that
Right.
a lot easier than Jim Carrey did. It's like he went down a portal that he can't get himself out of.
He lost his identity in a way. We'll get into this later,
Maybe,
I think.
yeah.
At the end, because we're going to talk about other shit, okay, with
Yeah.
Jim. So let's just stay on Man on the Moon. I want to point out that I love his portrayal and his dedication, but I'm not blown away. There are moments in the film I go, I didn't buy it 100%. I might be the only one.
What parts?
I can't give you a specific part, but just little things that I see. He did great. I mean, that was not easy to do. And obviously, he gave it his all. But it's hard to nail a person. It's just, he played a real person. You're not going to be exactly like them. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Okay? But overall, I mean, you got to give him props. He should have been nominated for this movie.
He did. Once again, he won the Golden Globe.
But not an Oscar. Why?
And I don't think he was nominated. He's never been nominated for an Oscar.
Never.
I'm kind of surprised he wasn't nominated.
Anyways, moving on from that, he didn't get along with Jerry Lawler, the wrestler guy. Was it a wrestler?
Yeah, Jerry King.
Yeah.
The King Lawler.
Yeah, they did not get along. Jim was a fucking asshole to him, I guess.
Well, he played it as Andy Kaufman.
Right.
And they did not get along. But this is where I don't know how much of this is real.
Okay.
When you start going down this road of like, when you see that documentary,
yeah,
everyone knows it's Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it was all just an act on both sides.
I think it was just trying to reenact the spirit of Andy Kaufman.
Okay. So
when you know, and it's even in the movie, and when Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman, they sit down with, is it DeVito? And he's like, I don't think you two should work together.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's true. It was an act.
It was all an act.
It was all bullshit.
Okay.
So when you know that, and then you hear Lawler talking about Jim Carrey like that, how do you know that's fucking real?
That could be an act too.
It's all bullshit. They're entertainers.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and it's like, and that's where, when you read up on this stuff, you don't know what's real and what's not.
In my opinion, I think Jim Carrey was pissing him off.
You
I
think
think
so?
he could do that. Yeah. If he's acting like Kaufman all the time, Lauer, he's not acting, he's just being himself.
But he's a wrestler. What do? They
Yeah.
pretend.
Yeah. Okay.
So who knows what the truth is?
You don't know. That's true. But in my opinion,
that's
I think
what makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, moving on from Man on the Moon, I want to note Me, Myself, and Irene. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's great. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He nailed that. Ron Howard film. Yeah. I love that as well. We just watched it the other day. It's a Christmas movie. The Majestic. Not one of my favorites. What do you think of The Majestic?
Dude, I saw that once. I remember not being very impressed.
I was just
I don't remember it.
Is it a one-timer?
Maybe I have to see it again because it's been so long.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out in 2001 or something?
Okay.
2002.
I didn't have the year, but
I don't have it either.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with that movie.
It was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was boring.
Boring. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Bruce Almighty. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Love it. Great message. Nice choice. Realize that Jim Carrey has been in some creative films, just different kind of films like this. With Bruce Almighty with God and
Morgan Freeman
you
is
know,
gone. That's so fucking great.
The premise is great. He does different kind of movies that make you think. I love that about a actor that makes choices on movies. I think he's very picky about what he does, and he can be. He's Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He does what he wants.
Yeah.
Good choice here. The next one, even better. What's your next one?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is 2004, written by Charlie Kaufman,
Yes.
who did Being John Malkovich adaptation.
I love him.
Quite the mind on that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He
So-
does. He thinks outside the box.
And for me, this is his best movie.
I agree. This is his best performance.
Best performance.
Yes.
Best acting.
As an actor, he gives. I saw him actually as that person, as a dramatic role. I got it. I believed him.
Right.
Kate Winslet and him had just tremendous chemistry. Tremendous.
Kate Winslet is fantastic.
Those two had better chemistry than DiCaprio and Winslet. I believe that.
I believe that too.
They went somewhere and it worked. It's a beautiful movie. I've watched it several times. I recommend it highly.
Yeah, I would like to think most people would put this as his best dramatic role
Yes.
over Truman Show.
It is.
I would hope.
I hope
It's
so.
such a great movie. It's such it's a mindfuck, literally.
It is.
You know, it's a hell of a concept, and
Another film with a great premise. Different.
and Jim Carrey pulls it off.
He did. The one movie where I can say, yup, did it. Nailed it.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
I can't wait for the next time he does that.
Something like that, yeah. Because he could do it. The next one is Fun with Dick and Jane. I watched just the other day, kind of watching Carrey movies. I was laughing so hard. I love it. I thought he did a great job. It's comedy, and of course he shines. And the premise is good too. Another great premise movie. What do you think of this one? Have you seen it lately?
I admit I have not seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
There's
I recommend it.
There's a series of movies here as I go down some of the work that I've just missed the boat on.
Now, I said this is a comedy, but there's a point in this movie. They are broke. He got fired from his job. Well, the company just folds. And they just bought a new house. His wife just quit her job, and they're broke and have been for months. And his wife is laying on the bed crying. No, she's lying in the bed sleeping. And he's strung out, sad. He walks up to the bed, looks down on her, and he cried. A tear came down his face, and I got a glimpse.
Yeah.
And I love seeing stuff like that. That's no BS. An actor doing his thing. Just wanted to point that out. And the number 23 was awful. Have you seen it?
I haven't, and I tried
Don't.
to.
Don't.
Really? Because
It's
I heard
bad.
there's some good reviews on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't recommend it.
I will watch it eventually, so I'll let you know what I think.
What's the next one you got?
I have in 2008, he did Horton Hears a Who.
Okay, I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Really?
Uh-uh.
I have it. if you
What's it
wanna borrow
like? Is it a...
It's an animated.
Okay, it's animated. So he just does the voice?
Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
I love it. It's a great movie.
So it's not like The Grinch? It's just...
no, it's an animated movie. It's the elephant.
okay.
I love this movie. I think it's
Okay,
you know,
I'll have to watch it.
It's great.
Okay. I Love You, Philip Morris. It was bad.
I didn't see that either.
I was not impressed with Jim Carrey's acting. I was impressed with Ewan McGregor. He's the love interest. He's gay. So these two are, getting it on. With the relationship. And the relationship itself was okay, but Jim Carrey was off, I felt. A lot of people loved it. I didn't.
Okay.
I would recommend you watching it just to see what you think about it.
Okay.
But overall, watch something else. Even worse is the next one I have. What do you have after anything else?
I have Yes Man.
Okay, that was all right.
It was okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I watched it. I enjoyed it.
All right.
Anything else?
The Office.
The Office.
When Steve Carell left,
He was on there?
he was on there as the boss for a few episodes. I have not
Really?
seen it.
Okay.
Have not seen all of The Office yet.
I bet you'd be pretty good on that show.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't really talk of that.
I have my next one, Dark Crimes.
What year is that?
It was pretty recent. It was a couple years ago.
Okay.
I want to say 2015. It was so bad, I was on my phone most of the time. It's horrible, it's disturbing, and horrible. I said horrible twice because it's that bad.
That's pretty bad.
Okay, it's about like this sex ring, like perverted. It takes place in Poland. He plays a Polish cop. He has the accent and everything. It's so horrible, Dave. Bad. It's a complete dramatic role, and he fails miserably.
Damn.
Yeah, I would recommend you watching it just to see if you can get through it, Dave.
Well, you sold me on it. Jesus. I don't know which one to watch first. The number 23.
This is my
or-
review. Ew. We have to talk about his girlfriend's suicide. I have that next.
And
You want to talk about this?
I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you know if I have anything to
Okay.
contribute.
She was an Irish, like a makeup artist. They started dating
2012.
2012, and it was a rocky relationship. Mind you, this lady, she was kind of depressed. She had that in her past. And I think it was, she got married to some other guy.
Well, she's from Ireland,
Yeah.
so she married this guy for the visa.
Oh, okay. They weren't in love or anything.
That's not the way
Okay.
I took it.
She committed suicide. She left a note. And from what I get, she was hung up on Carrey. Big time.
Yeah.
And played a major role in her death.
Yeah.
How big, I don't know.
They were on again, off again. It was one of those relationships.
Yeah.
And they broke up in September of 2015, and then 3 days later, on September 28th, she committed suicide, overdosing on prescription pills.
Pills that were his, by the way.
They were his?
Yes. He gave her the pills. A depressed woman doesn't need extra pills. Why he would give her pills? Maybe to ease her pain and make her feel better. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's a bad move by Jim Carrey. After her death, her family and the husband were blaming Carrey for the death, being a big part of it, and sued him for it. They say that he gave her 3 different STDs. Did you read out of that?
Yeah, but they did not find any evidence that that was true.
Okay.
They found that she had STDs before she even was with Jim.
And Jim Carrey would be involved with a woman that has 3 STDs? That makes no sense to me.
Well, he could
Explain
be.
that to me.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, she doesn't tell him? So Jim now has 3 STDs because of this. From her.
Possible. Yeah, I don't know.
So you're telling me it's not the other way around? What are the chances, if you're to make a bet in Vegas, that and she was much younger, by the way.
Yeah.
Much younger.
Yeah, she was.
She was in her 20s. He was in his 50s. Which one's going to have STDs, Dave? I'm just saying by chance. A 25-year-old woman from Ireland, a makeup artist, or a 55-year-old actor who's been around the block a few times? I'd put my money. I'm not saying it's true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's true.
He did date Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, he did.
And who knows? I mean, maybe she didn't have it. I'm not.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying. She's really attractive. I'm sure she's seen a lot of dick. I'm just speculating.
So I am very about this situation because right around this time, Jim Carrey is like, he's off. And you want to get into this now? Is there any other things that you want to talk about? Like his movies, performances? Because we'll talk about the latest thing he's doing.
Yeah, the TV show
Because
we could talk about later.
It
but,
does pertain to sort of what's going on in this guy's head.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot.
All right. What was your question?
Well, my question is, do you want to talk about how he's changed? What his beliefs are?
Well, that's a good question of what his beliefs are.
What do you think his beliefs are?
Well, And like we mentioned earlier, he's been very spiritual his whole life. Not to be confused with being religious, because I think he believes in faith and stuff like that, and not so much of like religions, so to speak.
Okay. I think
he's just kind of.
Do you think he's slowly breaking down?
No.
I do. And it will pertain to his latest work. That show, did you watch that?
Yeah.
The first episode. What'd you think?
He's pretty good. He's pretty good in it.
And we're talking about, it's called Kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, this sitcom just came out on Showtime.
Right.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's his child dies in a car accident, and he's sort of dealing with the fact that his child is gone. He plays like a Mr. Rogers type character, you know, like creepy. No offense to Mr. Rogers, but Mr. Rogers was kind of like a creepy guy.
You could look at it like being creepy, but
Our mom would say she really didn't like us watching
no,
Mr. Rogers.
she didn't.
But he appealed to kids, and that's what this character does. He appeals to kids. He's kind of creepy. Jim's getting creepy, Dave. Come on. Admit it. The guy's talking in interviews like he doesn't fucking exist. That doesn't make any sense to me.
And I don't think it's supposed to, because
Well, please explain it.
And this goes back to his whole Kaufman thing. He's constantly performing and doing weird shit for the sake of doing it. It also brings back to how Robin Williams is when he does interviews. He's constantly, you'd see him go off the fucking deep end all the time, because that's what they do. They entertain. So
You're saying it's an act?
yeah,
You're saying it's an act.
a lot of it I think is an act.
Bullshit. I don't believe that at all.
Well-
Really.
I'm a little. That's why I said before we even started this, I am a little torn of how I feel about what's been going on recently with him.
So you can see both sides?
Absolutely, yeah, because he could be losing it, like you say. But a lot of it, you see some of these interviews, and that one in particular. What was it with the
Yeah.
E News reporter outside of it's the Harper's Bazaar party.
It was
Bazaar?
so weird. I mean, she's so uncomfortable during the whole thing.
And that was his intent. That was the whole point. Was yeah, and he says
Later on.
in quotes here during this interview.
Okay.
There's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. I mean, you got to admit, it's pretty meaningless. And I think that's great, because it is. Do you know what? It's fucking dumb. He's basically making a mockery of the whole event, and just...
He likes to stir
breaking...
the-
Yeah, he's stirring up the shitpot. Dude, how many interviews has that guy done? 1 billion?
I get that. And that point, I get. But I also have seen interviews with him when he did the Jim and Andy thing. He gave interviews afterwards, okay, with the two producers.
Right.
They're sitting next to him. He's in the middle, and he's talking about the fact that he doesn't exist and how he got so deep. It's a creepy interview. The two guys next to him, they're so uncomfortable, like they're nodding, like weird and creepy. I'm sorry. There is something weird and creepy going on. And when he was doing that interview, it wasn't like that red carpet thing you were talking about.
No, I know.
He was serious.
Yeah.
He fucking believes this shit. It's that might have been an act, but he truly believes it.
That's where I'm like I said, it's hard to believe one thing or the other for me. I don't know if it's an act or if he really believes that.
I think that he's gone through a lot with this journey he's been on.
And especially that suicide, I think, if it is true, I mean, he may be off the deep end because of that suicide. That would definitely fuck with anybody.
In the fact that he had a big part in her death, does he feel responsible for her death? He might. Denying all the things that the parents have brought up about the STDs, like giving her the pills, and I guess they also said that he abused her. That I don't believe. I think they may have embellished that. She might have embellished that to get back at him in her way.
Yeah.
I don't see him as that, but I see him as a little disturbed in a way. He just can't deal with it. This thing going on, like his identity that happened on Man on the Moon, stripped away. And he's been battling that for a long time. And this sitcom he's doing, Kidding, I think he's trying to build up like some kind of image that he's like this nice guy. And I think he is a nice guy, but not all the time. I think he's got some demons. I really do. I love his work. He is a brilliant man. One of the funniest people to walk on this planet. Entertainment-wise.
Yeah, he's up there.
Okay.
Yeah, in our opinion, anyway.
Okay. Would you put him up with? I'm trying to think of what Robin Williams. I would put on a par. Your ranking. Robin is way up there, and Jim Carrey is too, among all time.
Well, that's a matter of like who you think is funnier.
Okay.
Where I don't think Robin Williams was all that funny.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, he was funny, but he was also way too much for me.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, slow down, hold up, Jesus Christ, like
It's a trip.
where Carrey could be like that too, but I don't think it's as bad. Yeah, I don't know. If we're gonna rank fucking funny people, that could
take a while.
that could take 10 hours.
But I don't want to come off that I don't like Jim Carrey because that's not the case. I'm just concerned. I am. It concerns me that he's kind of gone off the deep end and he's losing his mind. I believe he is. Some people just say they call it, he's awake, they say.
He's enlightened.
He's enlightened. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
He's enlightened. Like he knows something we don't? Come on.
Yeah, that could be. That kind of bothers me too.
It bothers me.
He's always been someone who has self-analyzed himself, and I think probably too much.
Yeah.
I think doing that is really good.
In a way.
I've done it a lot in my life, and maybe at times in my life I probably did it too much.
Uh-huh.
And I think he's doing it way too much. Like, stop. Too much.
Yeah.
Could be bad for you.
I hope
Because you're gonna get too deep into it, and that's like all you think about. Like,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, I think he said he has like this shrine that he goes to like on his property. It's like a Buddhist thing. He goes out there, he meditates. Like he goes deep in himself. And he's been doing this for a while.
A long time, his whole life, really.
When you go that deep, I think sometimes you I don't know, you go places. It can be dangerous.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know. I wanted your opinion on this because I know you see both sides very well. I tend to go on one side. Stick
your ground there.
Yeah, I do. And I'd like to make a firm opinion on something, and I'm doing this in this episode because I feel that he is going to places and this whole enlightened thing, like he knows secrets we don't. I just don't buy it. It's his place in the world. It's his reality, his truth. And look at the way he looks sometimes. He looks sick sometimes. That Jim and Andy thing during that time, he was very thin. Did you see that?
Yep.
He looked sick.
Kind of.
Yeah. He's battling shit. Do you think he's taking like painkillers and stuff?
No, in fact, there's a quote here just from last year that he says, I have no depression in my life whatsoever.
Okay.
I don't have meds. I don't have supplements. I don't have anything. He's like, I've got a couple of fish oils a day, and the rest of it is just good diet and a little bit of exercise and understanding that I don't exist. That last part there, it's a little weird.
What does that mean?
I don't know, man.
What does he say when he says, I don't exist? Or we don't exist.
Yeah, I think he really is taking the approach of like the big picture of how it does. We're not really here is the way he sees it.
I don't understand.
I don't know if he thinks we're living in a dreamland. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's saying is bullshit or not.
Yeah, right.
That's another aspect that I've taken. I'm just like, he might be just fucking with us.
Now, Is he pulling a Kaufman?
Yes. That's where I come down to the conclusion of yes.
He's going there, is what you're saying.
Why not?
Interesting. If that's the case, Dave, that's incredible. Because I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I do, man.
You said he wanted to separate his character away from Kaufman after the movie, but he's doing this? That makes no sense. Then he's still playing the game? No. He's off his fucking nut, this guy. He's off his nut. I might be wrong. And you know what? I hope I'm wrong. Because this guy can go on. He's what, 56?
Yeah.
He can go on for 25 more years, giving us great work. I mean, I don't know. This sitcom could be a hit. It could be a great show.
I don't think he really cares about that.
Cares about what?
It being a big hit, I think he's at the point of his career where he's just going to do whatever he wants.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You told me he's an attention hog.
And I think that.
Especially with his art?
Of
you
course.
hate his art?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. Go for it.
You know, I think it was about a year ago that he had this like short video called "I Need More Color."
Uh-huh.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
It's
Wait, I did. I'm sorry. I did.
You don't know if you're coming or going.
Hey, I do so much research. I know that I did watch that, but it was a while ago.
Yeah,
when it came out.
It came out about a year.
Yeah,
probably a year ago.
I didn't see it recently. Yeah, the art, whatever.
But it was pretty cool, you know, because up to that point, he hadn't done a whole lot. He did some movies I really hadn't seen. And I was like, cool, he's doing art. Why not?
Right.
I know that he has always been interested in art and doing sculpture and
Yeah,
paintings,
he did, yeah.
you know. But this video showed him doing stuff, a whole bunch of work.
Oh, there was shit everywhere.
I mean, just mass production of shit. And some of it was shit. But there was some actual, like, there's some good stuff. I was like, okay, that's not bad. There's one of, like, a heart where it's kind of, like, evaporating or something like that.
Okay.
Or flying or something. And I was like, okay.
So some of it was good.
You know,
okay.
This is pretty, some of this is actually pretty good.
Yes.
And then, shortly after that, there's a whole bunch of his work coming out, very political, cartoony stuff.
Like Trump stuff, too, doesn't he?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Of course. So, he's a big-time Democrat, liberal.
Yeah, big time.
So, obviously, he's not happy.
No.
And so he's making a lot of political art on that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't care about that.
That's his opinion. It's cool.
My problem with it is that it looks like it takes him like an hour or two to do it.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with that.
He's mass producing art.
Right.
Yeah.
And you take the name out of those art pieces. You take Jim Carrey's name out of there and you put my name in there, guess what? 10 people are going to look at it and not give a shit.
Right.
Because I have a problem with all the attention he's getting for this artwork that looks like, no offense, but a middle schooler probably could have done that. And that's where I'm like, okay, I did see you do some pretty good work. Why don't you actually spend time and produce something good? And someone like me would be like, hey, man.
That's great.
That's
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's an artist. He's going to be dabbling in shit, doing what, like you said, things that'll take an hour. But hopefully he takes time and does something really great. And I'm sure he does. Nick Cage said that, well, he didn't say. I saw him take out a sculpture that Carrey made for him, a self-portrait of Nick Cage. This thing was like, I don't know, like I would say maybe a foot. And it was a decent size. It looked just like him. Nick Cage. Very nice. So, he's got a lot of stuff inside. Artistically, the guy's amazing. Is there any other notes that you have about Mr. Carrey? Oh, wait a minute. Dave, this is kind of a big deal. I think it is.
Okay.
The Emma Stone message. Did you fucking see this?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God. When we're done, watch it.
Okay.
It's about 2 minutes long. And he's talking to Emma Stone. It's just him in front of the camera, professing his love for her. It's creepy.
When did he do this?
Oh my God. I don't know. Probably about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Oh my God. Watch it. He tells her that he loves her, and that if there wasn't an age gap, he would take care of her. You would love me. And then he ends it by saying, I love you. And his lips tremble. I mean, it's really out there.
What?
It is out there. And it's really creepy, Dave. What is he doing? Okay.
That's where I still bring it back to he's just fucking with people.
Obviously.
That's all I can say.
Well, that, yeah. But it's creepy.
He's finding ways to be entertaining, to entertain himself.
That's another thing.
I think it's a lot of that.
Oh, boy. Anything? I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off there. I wanted to mention that before I forgot.
And this kind of piggybacks to what we're talking about now, but back in around 2001 or so, he was promoting the Majestic, and he was on the Charlie Rose show.
Yeah.
He did an interview with him, and he mentions in quotes, he's like, because he was talking about how he's doing a dramatic role.
Yeah.
And how if this doesn't work out, taking this turn,
Yeah.
And he's like, if this other side of me is not popular one with the scheme of things as far as movie tickets go, then I'll find another way of sneaking it in there. I'll show myself. I'll find a way. Even if I'm not as popular, he'll live in that area. He'll expand himself.
Okay.
And this is something he said back in 01 or so.
All right.
So he's always had this mind frame of like, he's going to continue to do different things, and I don't think he cares if people like it or not. He's going to find a way to express himself however he wants.
And he doesn't care what people think? I disagree. See, I think he's full of shit.
Because when he was starting to do this political artwork, his agents are like, you may not want to do that because it may lose some fans. And he was just like, then lose them.
Whoa. Well, that's a political thing. If you're on a stance, you don't like my position, fuck you. I get that. If he loses a few fans, okay, I get that. But when he does performances, I think he cares if people like him or not. Think about it.
But here's the thing. He's already accomplished everything he had to. He did that back in 94.
That doesn't matter.
I think it does, man.
Yeah?
He's already accomplished everything he wanted to. So what's left?
There's always more. For an artist?
But in different areas, and that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
He's not talking about redoing and having another Ace Ventura moment.
Well, I get that.
He's talking about new different things that he wants to do.
Okay. But he's going to want people to like it.
And people do, man. He's still popular.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't like him.
I just don't like that. Oh, I'm going to do this, and if they don't like it, oh, whatever. I don't buy that.
I think to a point, though, I think he's on that plane. Why not?
Interesting.
Obviously.
Okay.
Look what he's doing.
Oh, that kidding you're talking about?
Well,
that show or something else?
No, I'm talking about these interviews he's given where he says it doesn't exist in his artwork. He's doing stuff because that's how he wants to express himself, and he doesn't care if he's bothering people with it. He's obviously not.
No, I think you're right on that point. He doesn't care about that. You're right. If people don't like him or not, I don't think he cares. With that, I'm talking about his performances.
Oh.
He's going to want to care if somebody doesn't like his performance.
Well, yeah.
Come on, man. Okay, so we were talking about two separate things.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about the confusion in the actor's room.
You'll have that.
You'll have that from time to time. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Don't want it to be 2 hours. And I'm trying to see with my notes if there's anything else I wanted to point out. He gave a great first Tonight Show appearance when he came on Johnny Carson, did impressions, loved it. And Johnny gave him the okay sign and winked at him.
To come take a seat.
Very important. Jim Carrey is a fascinating guy, obviously. Especially recently. We'll take what he gives us, process it.
It's to be continued.
Oh, it sure is.
Because you don't know what's going to happen next.
And I can't wait. It's going to be entertaining, right?
It definitely will be.
I think I want to watch this Kidding show. I do.
I was intrigued. It was a lot better than I was thinking it would be because I didn't hear a whole lot about it.
No.
But I I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm
I
intrigued.
Thought he gave a really good performance. with
Not
just
bad.
Just the one episode that I saw.
It wasn't bad. Let's just put it this way. I want to see the next episode. Mm-hmm. So that's saying something right there. It's dark. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's different. So maybe, just maybe, Mr. Carrey will start doing some different things. This is a start. And I hope he's okay.
I'm sure he's just fine.
Financially.
Financially, and I think, if he's, recently said he's not depressed anymore and he's really happy he's
That's
not on
good.
medication.
That's a good thing.
It sounds like someone in a good place.
Okay. So maybe he's breaking some boundaries on that aspect of his life.
I think so.
I sure hope he is. He's a fascinating guy to talk about. It was great to talk about him with you in the actor's room. My name is Jeff Tarowski. This is Dave Tarowski. We have the same last name. We're brothers.
Wow, great.
That was great detective work.
Dickhead.
I'm such a dick sometimes. Wow, this was fun. My voice is starting to go, so we're going to wrap it up. Last thoughts? Any thoughts about our ranking? 197 in Sweden?
There's 200 and...
Oh, was it? Oh, shit. I'm raising it. Or lowering it. I'll take it, though. 297. We break 300 in Sweden. That's the first step. Let's go for Finland. Finland is next. Thank you for listening to this edition of The Actors Room, a special one. We did one long one. The last one was Robin Williams. Weird that Robin and Jim have the same sort of episode.
Very similar.
Length and similar kind of takes.
Let's hope that Jim Carrey can break those boundaries of the dramatic side of it, like Robin Williams.
Wouldn't it be great? He could do it, I think.
I don't know.
Was it Eternal Sunshine?
Yeah, that was the closest he's got.
Yeah.
This new show, he might be able to. I need to see a lot more. I just feel there's something about Robin Williams who, as a person, he was deeper. I think.
In what way?
The sadness.
Oh, okay. Okay. There was something more.
There's no way. I don't want to say there's no way, but it's hard to imagine Jim Carrey pulling off a Good Will Hunting role.
I was thinking about that. No.
So that's where Robin Williams, to me, edges him out as far as acting.
Oh, I agree. I do.
By a fucking long shot.
Oh, I agree. So, thank you, Jim Carrey, for giving us some great performances in the 90s. Those comedies, priceless. We'll never forget them. And he really does appeal to a lot of people. They love his comedy. I hope that you enjoyed this show in the Actors Room. I hope that all of you are having a great day, have a great night. It's a Friday night for us. We're going to break away, get something to eat, and enjoy our evening. I hope you do the same. Join us next time in the Actors Room. Have a good one.